Oh yeah, Alex Lexus coming at you with the head crush, and this is a bonus setup because I have a little time to produce this. Those of you who are looking at my MVCI fiasco continued, talking about how Marvel and Disney didn't want Capcom characters being beaten up by Capcom characters like in promotional videos. Go check that out. Shout out to Event Hubs and other sources, and to comicbook.com for giving me the ability to bring you that news. But with this, I was talking to Shinor, and I have to make sure you go check out Geeking Out. He's been providing me with a lot of news that has been worthy enough to, get a green screen production. So with that being said, the topic that Shinwar wanted me to cover, and this is serving as a part one, because the part two will be the podcast. I probably have Project Justice, Tough Nerd Toys, The Mizzle, whomever, to resurrect our podcast portion that has remained dormant for some time. And I probably will bring that back on Mondays so that you guys can, get back into the routine. I know it's during Monday Night Raw. We're trying to work that out. So with that being said, Low Tier God. I'm kind of on the fence about this whole reality show thing that he was selected for. Now, I'm going to be 50-50 on this. I see that Low Tier God has generated a lot of heat, as because he was selected to be on this reality show for Street Fighter V and the fighting game community. And Ultra David, commentary on esports, who has like the utmost reputation. It almost seems, I think that folks jumped on Ultra David's disapproval of Low Tier God. I don't think, I'm seeing it from both sides, and I'm trying not to take it personally, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not the biggest fan of this idea that Low Tier God was selected to represent the fighting game community, because in essence he doesn't. He actually is like the heel, so to speak. Like, he's that guy that'll go and rage quit on you, or rage quit on L.I. Joe, who I had the honor of interviewing at New York Comic Con, and I was actually mentioning Low Tier God. I'm like, he deserved to get his behind whooped, because this guy never respects another person's style of play. He'll sit there and say, hey, that's all he does, the 50-50s with Laura and so on and so forth. And it's like, dude, look, I'm not the best player in the world. I stopped doing competitive fighting tournaments because it was giving me such high blood pressure. I'm like, I had to step back. I mean, it's just, if it gets to you that much, you don't have to rage quit on somebody, and you don't have to shit on their skills. If there's something in the game, you have to find a way around it. Like, my struggle right now with Dragon Ball FighterZ is fighting Goku Black. He is my kryptonite. Like, it's just, he's so fast, and I'm trying to sometimes find a way to alleviate the pressure in fighting him. Whoever uses Goku Black against me, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna run around and rage quit or say, oh, he's a wet vagina, or he's this, or she's that, or whatever. You know what I mean? And I think, to Ultra David's point, his concern was the fact that, now with that platform that Low Tier God has ascended to, if the person or the character that Low Tier God displays on the streams, is that a character, or is that really who he is? And I'm thinking that's more like, this guy, I don't know. If it's a character, that's one thing. But this is, not a threat or anything, or, what I'm going to say. Like, my major gripe with Low Tier God is how that whole situation with Viscant went down. You know, you got a guy probably like a $140 wet, right? You see low tier guy is in some sort of shape, look like he can handle himself pretty well, right? Viscant defeats him, and you know, with his Blanca when they were playing Street Fighter 4, and the way low tier God handled it, and the one thing that got me heated with him is the fact that physically this man cannot match you, and you're getting up in his face like, what the hell are you gonna do? I'm gonna flat out tell you, if I was there, I would have got in his face. 6 foot, 238 pounds. I wish low tier God and I would have gotten to that circumstance where me, as in the role of Viscant, he wouldn't have done that. He was sitting there trying to intimidate the man, and it's like, okay, what was the point of all that? It was just a video game. You said it too, low tier guy. You said it too. So he got salty. You know what I mean? It was a whole thing. Alex Valle was doing the, you know, post-fight setup, or as he was getting commentary. And Rick Scott was right to say, you need to watch the taste of his junk out your mouth. You deserve that, because the way that you were handling yourself, LTG. You know, same thing with L.I. Joe, you rage quit on him, and the guy is just playing the game as he knows how. I don't think anybody plays a fighting game to lose. You want to have fun, I get it, but, you know, you were the reason why, you know, Capcom had to add the whole banning and you know, updating the system for Street Fighter 5, because you just take the L. I think you learn a lot more from losing. So Ultra David, I think he sees low tier guy's character as I do. I don't think that's the best representation to put in the forefront like that. Now, don't get me wrong, this man has charisma. He has a draw to him, so I think that's maybe why he was selected. But even still, you know, you got to look at humility. The guy, what tournaments has he won? You know what I mean? He's no Wolf Crone, he's no Daigo, he's no Justin Wong. You know what I mean? Like, what was it outside of the personality that, you know, he was seen worthy as making that there? Now, on the flip side, me as a Mugen creator, when I was making Dante, Gouken, and all that, I mean, there's some people who used to take certain things I would say and just run with it and create a persona of who I was. Like, hey, Alex Lexus doesn't take feedback. Oh, his Dante sucks. His Gouken sucks. All his characters suck. And, you know, I don't know low tier God personally, but I understand now with the Mugen hate that I used to get. Is like, okay, if I don't really explain myself, then people are gonna make up their own, you know, explanations for things. So maybe, I don't know, I haven't seen the rest of the story, but maybe low tier God needs to just come out publicly and explain. You know, I saw one stream he was talking about, oh, women's vaginas stink, like very vulgar, rancid stuff, and it's like, okay, with me as the juggernaut doing my stuff with the podcast and stuff, there was a level I never crossed. You know, I have sisters, I have females in my family and all that. Like, you can be entertaining without having to be vulgar. You know, that's just me. You know, that's my iceberg or what have you. But I think I understand where Ultra Davis coming from. But to the folks that are hating on low tier God for getting what you didn't get because y'all salty or whatever, work hard, try harder, push yourself. Like what I'm doing right here. You know, I've been getting some positive feedback and doing upping the show, trying to ask for donations, crowdfunding, equipment, things like that. You have to grind. So I will give low tier God that. He made sure his name was relevant when, you know, I'm at Comic-Con and people are playing Street Fighter, like, oh yeah, we'll hear low tier God here and there. The guy is famous. So I think they wrote on that. But just to everyone's credit, the guy hustled. So this was his reward. Not everybody agrees with it, just like an election. Not everybody's in office that you want. So what I'm saying is, I understand, you know, the naysayers, but I understand that he put in the work. and he got a result from it. So if you aren't happy with Low Tier God being on that show, whatever else is down the pipeline, you work, you push yourself, and you get to that pedestal. You know, because we can't bitch and complain if we're not doing anything about it. Same thing with my Mugen people, and to all those folks like Raja, Dark Flares, and all that. I didn't forget you guys. Oh, believe me, I didn't forget you guys. You know what I mean? I am probably more relevant than YouTube will ever be. You know what I mean? I transcended the Mugen side of things, and when I do return to the Mugen community, I'll have notoriety, so on and so forth. And this is not me being a Low Tier God narcissistic mindset. It's more or less I'm confident, I'm sure of what I've done. I'm pretty sure Low Tier God shares that same sentiment. He's sure of his work, and it paid off. But I think that we have to just let the guy do his thing. It's already in the works, so what can you do? We can't be salty individuals. You know, sometimes we're in this world, we're in a society where we can't be happy for people. I'm just like, hey, his hard work paid off, thumbs up. But I know they could have made a better choice. You know, I'm looking at my list. You got Justin Wong, Daigo, Sanford, Sonic Fox, so many others that could have been put out there, but him. But if they didn't step up, you didn't show up, you can't complain. So this has been Alex Lexus, the man, the myth, the juggernaut. And like I said, you know, you can take this with a grain of salt. If I was Viscount with my stats, standing face to face with Low Tier God, and he got in my face, he would have got that work straight up. Juggernaut, I'm out.